Have you ever stayed in a relationship, a job, or a situation that made you feel small, just because you were afraid of what would happen if you walked away? I know I have. A few years ago, I was in a friendship that drained me. I'd pour my heart into it, but every time I left, I felt less like myself. I kept thinking, if I just try harder, it'll get better. But deep down, I knew I was accepting less than I deserved. It wasn't until I discovered Carl Jung's wisdom that I realized loving myself meant setting boundaries and choosing my worth over comfort. Jung believed that loving yourself isn't just a feeling. It's a radical act of listening to your unconscious and embracing your true self. Today, we're diving into Jung's teachings to uncover how to love yourself fiercely and never settle for less than you deserve. So grab a journal, take a deep breath, and let's start this journey to choosing you. If this resonates, hit that like button, share with someone who needs to hear this, and tap the bell to never miss a video. Why do we accept less than we deserve? Maybe it's a relationship where you're always giving, but never receiving. Maybe it's a job that makes you feel invisible. Or maybe it's that voice in your head saying, "This is all you're worth." I remember staying in that friendship, ignoring the pit in my stomach every time my friend dismissed me. I told myself, it's not that bad, because I was scared of being alone. Jung taught us that accepting less often comes from our unconscious fears. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, or fear of not being enough. Think about it. Where in your life are you settling right now? Maybe it's a situation where you feel unappreciated, or a dream you've put on hold because you don't think you're worthy. That feeling of settling isn't random. It's a signal from your unconscious, begging you to see your own value. What's one place in your life where you're accepting less than you deserve? Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." That's the heart of his wisdom on self-love. Your unconscious is always guiding you toward your true worth, but you have to listen. Picture your unconscious as a wise friend, whispering truths you've forgotten. Every time you feel hurt or undervalued or stuck, it's your unconscious saying, "You deserve more." For example, let's say you stay in a relationship where you're not respected. That pain isn't just about the other person. It's your unconscious reminding you to choose yourself. I had a dream once about standing in a crowded room, shouting, but no one heard me. When I wrote it down, I realized it was about my fear of not being seen. Jung believed our dreams and emotions are messages from our deeper self. What's your unconscious trying to tell you? Think about a moment when you felt undervalued. What was that feeling pointing to? The shadow is one of Jung's most powerful ideas. It's the part of you that you hide, the insecurities, the doubts, the desires you don't want to admit. Maybe it's the fear that you're not lovable. Maybe it's the anger you bury to keep others happy. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's a part of you craving acceptance. I had a friend, Min, who was always the perfect daughter. She never said no, even when it hurt her. But one day, she snapped at her family for taking her for granted. That was her shadow, the resentment she'd hidden for years. Jung said, to confront a person with his shadow is to show him his own light. Facing your shadow means asking, what part of me am I afraid to love? For me, it was admitting I was scared of not being enough. I wrote it down, and it was like meeting an old friend. What's one thing you've been hiding from yourself? Naming it is the first step to loving all of you. Jung also taught us about archetypes, universal patterns in our unconscious that shape our lives. Think of them as roles you play. There's the caregiver, always putting others first. The warrior, fighting for what's right. The lover, seeking connection. When you accept less than you deserve, you might be stuck in the caregiver archetype, giving too much to others and not enough to yourself. A viewer named Ha shared that after a breakup, she felt like a victim, unworthy of love. But through journaling, she realized she was also a warrior, ready to fight for her worth. Jung believed archetypes connect us to the collective unconscious, a shared wisdom we all carry. For example, I once felt like the martyr, sacrificing my dreams for others. But when I reflected, I saw I was also the creator, ready to build a life I loved. What archetype do you feel in your life right now? Are you the caregiver, giving too much? Or the warrior, ready to stand up for yourself? Individuation is Jung's vision for becoming your true, whole self. It's not about being flawless, it's about embracing every part of you, shadow and all. Loving yourself means choosing your worth, even when it's hard. Think about a time you stood up for yourself. For me, it was leaving that draining friendship. I was terrified I'd be alone, but walking away felt like reclaiming a piece of my soul. Jung believed that by listening to your unconscious and integrating your shadow, you move towards self-actualization. A viewer, Tom, shared that after years of people-pleasing, she started saying no. Through it, she found a confidence she didn't know she had. That's individuation, choosing yourself over settling. What would it look like to choose yourself today? What's one thing your heart is telling you to stop accepting? Let's make this practical. Here are 7 steps, inspired by Jung's wisdom, to help you love yourself and never accept less. First, keep a dream journal. Jung saw dreams as messages from your unconscious. Write down what you dream each morning, even if it's vague. Look for clues. What's your unconscious saying about your worth? Second, face your shadow. Spend 10 minutes a day reflecting on a feeling you avoid. Ask, what am I afraid to love about myself? Write it down without judgment. Third, try active imagination. Picture a part of yourself, maybe your fear of rejection, and ask, what do you need? The answers can be powerful. Fourth, explore your archetypes. Think about the roles you play: caregiver, warrior, lover. Which one is holding you back? Fifth, set boundaries. Practice saying no to one thing that doesn't serve you. It could be a favor, a toxic habit, or a draining person. Sixth, create a self-love ritual. Maybe it's meditating, writing affirmations, or dancing to your favorite song. Find something that makes you feel worthy. Seventh, celebrate your worth. Every day, write down one thing you love about yourself. It could be your kindness, your resilience, or your laugh. Which step feels right for you? Pick one and start today. Let me share one more story. A viewer named and emailed me about her journey. She spent years in a relationship where she felt invisible. She'd shrink herself to keep her partner happy, but it left her empty. Then she read Jung's words. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. She started journaling about her shadow, her fear of being unlovable. Slowly, she set boundaries, left that relationship, and started painting again. Each canvas was a step toward loving herself. That's what Jung's wisdom does. It shows us that loving ourselves means refusing to settle for less. What's one thing you're ready to stop accepting? Maybe it's a situation that dims your light. Maybe it's a belief that you're not enough. Loving yourself is the courage to choose your worth every single day. What's one step you're ready to take to love yourself more? Your worth is not up for negotiation. Jung showed us that everything we need to love ourselves, strength, courage, wisdom, is already inside us. What's one place in your life where you're ready to stop settling? Imagine a life where you choose yourself, where you say no to what dims your light and yes to what makes you shine. I challenge you to take one step today. Maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's writing down what you love about yourself. Share your story in the comments. What's one thing you're ready to stop accepting? Hit that like button if you're ready to love yourself fiercely, and subscribe for more Jungian wisdom to guide your journey. Let's keep choosing ourselves together. Choose you today, and I'll see you in the next video.